Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Austin and Arthur Show.
皆さん、こんにちは。Austin and Arthur Show へようこそ。
We're two Americans living in Japan, sharing our experiences and cultural differences between Japan and the U.S.
Yes! 日本に住むアメリカ人2人が日米の文化の違いや雑談経験をシェアしています。
Many Japanese people also use our show for English listening practice.
多くの日本人の方も英語のリスニング練習に使ってくれています。
Today, we're going to talk about what Americans think of samurai and ninja.
今日はアメリカ人が持つ忍者と侍のイメージについて話します。
We have 5 listening questions for you.
リスニング問題を5つ用意してます。1、オースティンは子供の頃忍者はどこの国から来たと思っていた？ 2、アンサが日本語を学び始めた理由は何だった？ 3、アメリカ人が思い浮かべる侍のイメージはどんな人？ 4、アメリカの占領時代、日本で禁止されていたものは何？ 5、バイキングのベゼルカーはどうやって戦いに行った？
Answers are available for AA Friends members. Check the link in the description.
答えは AA Friends メンバー限定、説明欄のリンクをチェック。
Enjoy the episode.
それでは楽しんでください。
Why'd you whisper? I don't know. I just wanted to have some reverence.
Well, that was a good tone for this sake because this is like,
It is like a whisper, isn't it?
it's like a whisper of love and like it's gonna be okay. Well, it's gonna be okay.
Like, it's good.
It's really fruity. It's good. It's got a little bit of the effervescence to it. It's got like carbonation to it a little bit.
Yeah.
It's a little bit prickly on the tongue.
Yeah, it really is. It's like... No, I'm not going to say that. Never mind.
Okay.
I was going to say it's like licking a pear, but that just sounds weird.
Why?
I don't know, because like pears have those like little tiny hairs and it's got like a rough texture to it.
Like, yeah, but I would think of a kiwi, man. Not really.
Kiwi's too hairy.
Okay. Can we stop talking about hair, Ruben? Anyways, so the sake that we're drinking today is called Silver Lining. And this is a gift from our assistant, actually. 超限定無料化生原酒, which 2025. And this sake, she was explaining to you the story about this, but Mrs. A-san, can you explain what this sake is, why it's special?
ですね、このボトルはコロナ禍に誕生したボトルらしくて、コロナ禍のドヨーンとしたなんですかね雰囲気、雲に覆われた感じの中から一筋でも明るい光が差すようにっていう思いが込められて作られたお酒らしいです。
That's good, and she sounds completely different than when we're normally talking to her. But anyways, but yeah, so this is actually called Silver Lining. And also, do you want to explain what Silver Lining means?
So like we were having a conversation about this before the episode, and basically like I thought it was kind of an interesting name for a sake bottle because it's like silver lining. The idea of silver lining is you imagine a cloud, right? And somebody looking up at the sky wants to see like a beautiful sunny day, but instead they see like a rain cloud, right? But when they look a little bit more, they see that the sun's actually behind the cloud, and it kind of, it gives the cloud this like silver outline, right? And it ends up actually looking beautiful.
Yeah, like this right here is a silver lining.
Yeah, exactly, right? And so the message behind it is like, hey, even if you're not getting what you expected, like still try to look and see the beauty in things.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. And there is a very famous movie out there called Silver Linings Playbook, which my parents love.
Yeah.
I don't know why they love it so much. But have you seen that movie before?
I know of it. I've never seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, don't worry about it. It's a movie I watched 2 times and I forgot what it's about. Some guy has like a past that he's trying to get away from or something.
Oh, really? I always thought it was a sports movie.
It's like a sports thing. I think it's like a former sports guy who like gets injured or something.
What's facing it? Oh God.
Who's the guy from? He's from
I'm thinking of Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, Wedding Crashers.
But he's actually a really great actor, and I can't remember his name.
He was in. Oh, what's the movie where they go to Las Vegas and they lose the groom?
Yes.
Hangover, The Hangover. Yeah, he was in The Hangover too.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, but he's a nice guy.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Gonna drive.
Anyways, if you guys know his name, please let us know in the comments. We can look this up afterwards. Anyways,
Really good actor. He's in a lot of movies.
yeah. I was gonna say Matthew McConaughey, but
No,
they're
not
so completely different.
Completely different.
I know. But anyways, so Austin, today we're not gonna be talking about attractive actors. What are we gonna talk about today?
Ninjas and samurai.
And why Americans like ninjas and samurai so
Yeah.
much. Because to be honest, when I was in middle school and I was learning Japanese, one of the things that really attracted me to Japanese culture was samurai, actually. Like Bushido.
It's funny because I was the opposite.
Yeah.
I was drawn to ninjas.
Well, I feel like ninjas are much more common in American pop culture.
Definitely. But why? Why were you attracted to samurai?
So when I was first learning Japanese, so for those of you who don't know, the reason why I got into learning Japanese was because I wanted to be a Japanese manga artist. I wanted to basically be a cartoonist in the Japanese style,
Yeah.
And in order to do that, I had to go to Japan. So I liked anime and manga at the time, and it was funny because like a year after starting to learn Japanese, I lost all interest in manga. Like I remember when I first started learning Japanese, I bought a bunch of Japanese manga and I was like, I'm going to be able to read these. This is my goal, to be able to read these. And then like 4 years later, I like found them in like a cardboard box and I was like, oh yeah, by the way, these were my goal. Oh look, yeah, I can read these, no problem. Whatever.
You went so hard into weeb culture that you dug your way out the other side.
I went so far deep in that I went out the other side. Exactly. But one of the manga or anime that I really liked was Rurouni Kenshin.
Yeah, I love Kenshin, man.
Yeah. And so like that whole samurai ethic or whatever was really interesting to me. But like you said, I feel like ninjas are more prevalent in the zeitgeist in the United States.
I like that we keep using that word. It's ill. It's such a tingly word. I love it.
Just to let you know, though, it just means like spirit of the age, right? Zeitgeist, right?
It's a cool word.
It's a lot of German words sound cool.
Yeah.
I mean, when you don't sound angry.
Yeah. Zeitgeist. Well, okay, mustache man. All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so going back to like the whole like ninjas and pirates thing, like
ninjas and samurai thing, you mean? Pirates are not.
I don't know why.
Well, there were Japanese pirates, but they weren't. Yeah, swashbucklers.
I was going back to the whole ninja and samurai thing.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I think, especially in American culture, there's no real strong Japanese identity with ninjas in American culture, I think.
Okay, can you explain that?
So, okay, I'm gonna go into this. So, I mean, I grew up ignorant that ninjas were from Japan. I thought they were from China, and I think a lot of people make that mistake.
Yeah, they're Asian.
Yeah, they're Asian. They're like some kind of thing from Asia, right?
Yeah.
And when you see ninjas depicted in American culture, they are often depicted as martial arts masters.
Yeah.
But they use a variety of like shorthand weapons, like you have like nunchucks, you have like the throwing stars,
shuriken,
and
the ninja stars. You call them ninja stars.
Ninja stars, right?
Yeah.
You have like some like knives and stuff. And what is the other representation from Asian culture that fits that? Shaolin monks.
Shaolin monks, okay.
Right? You see Shaolin monks, and people might get offended that I'm comparing the two, but in American culture, they're often depicted really similar, right? They're both martial arts masters. They both like are known for like fighting like evil warlords and stuff, and they just kind of operate in the same space. And we're back.
We're back. We had to fix our mics. Yeah. We're back.
Yeah. So like I was saying, I think in American culture, at least, you see Shaolin monks and ninjas kind of operating in the same like space.
Yeah. So I just want to say, back in like the late 60s, 70s, whatever, you had this surge of interest in kung fu movies.
Yes.
And when I think of kung fu, you think of Bruce Lee, like, exactly. And it's funny because like a lot of people associate that with ninjas too. Like ninjas are the masked versions that use weapons.
Yes.
Basically, but they're
Yeah.
kung fu warriors. So like you would see ninjas in these Chinese kung fu movies and people would associate them as kind of the same thing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's exactly it.
Yeah.
Right. And so growing up, it's like we're both kids from the 90s.
Yeah.
You grew up, you saw Power Rangers
Mm-hmm.
and you saw Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. One
Right?
thing, I'm going to bring that up. Keep on talking.
And so we'll bring up Power Rangers first, right? And who are the Power Rangers? They're these masked warriors that use like martial arts and all these weapons and stuff. And they go and fight stuff. And so it's like, as an American, you associate like ninjas with like all of these just kind of generic Asian tropes, I guess I would say. It's the same thing.
Yeah. So let's bring up this picture of the Power Rangers right here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look, this is actually from the Japanese Gorenja, and so this is kind of like uniquely Japanese, I would say, with these kind of costumes and stuff like that.
100%.
Yeah. But the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were huge in the 80s, before our time.
Oh, and 90s.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, when you look at them, it's just like they're turtles with like bandanas around their eyes.
So that's the thing. Like, they look more like Shaolin monks.
Yeah, they're more like kung fu fighters.
Than they look like ninjas, right?
Yeah.
But their name is Ninja Turtles, right?
Yeah, right.
So it's like you get this like fusion of like two different unique like people from two different countries.
Yeah.
But in American culture, they kind of just get put in the same thing.
Yeah, and that's why I think like when people come to Japan, they're like, oh, are there still ninjas? Or I want to go see some ninjas or something because it's so big. By the way, did you ever play the game Ninja, like the hand game?
No.
You had to, that was so when I was in Seattle, right, and I was with some friends, and these were some pretty white friends, by the way. It wasn't like anyone connected with Japan, but we had like a game we would play called Ninja, where I have to move the bottle because I don't want to break it, where like you would stand in a pose next to a person within hitting distance, and you would only you'd be allowed to move one part of your body to hit their hand. You had to try and hit their hand as fast as you could, and they had to like move it away. So like if you have your hand out here, I had to go like really fast, and you'd move it out of the way, but you can only do like one move at a time. You can't like move the entire time. Like, it goes around in a circle where like I take a turn, then you take a turn, then I take a turn, then you take a turn. And we call that ninja because you had to be super fast like a ninja,
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's funny how ninja's kind of taken on its own form in an American culture too.
Yeah.
Because ninja has transformed into a verb.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right? So it means to steal something like either quickly or discreetly. Like, oh, really? Ninja, the last piece of cake.
Oh, really? That's how you use it?
Yeah.
Because so for me, the way that I've used ninja as a verb, and I've seen other people do it, is you have to ninja something into something else. Like you have to kind of like slide something in. So for example, like let's say you have a key that doesn't like go into the lock very well, and you have to jiggle it and kind of get in. Like, I'm going to ninja this in.
Oh,
like, that's kind of like slide it in.
Interesting.
Who knows?
Okay, so it's taken on like two different forms then.
Yeah, but the idea is secretly moving in smoothly,
Yeah. I think it's been so firmly established, even if it's wrong and it doesn't really fit like what actually ninja were here in Japan. It's been so firmly established in American culture that I think like if you talk to any American, they can tell you like basically what a ninja is.
Yeah, right.
I don't think the same can be said for samurai.
Although I feel like samurai is becoming more popular in recent days, especially since like the movie The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise. After that, it kind of started to pick up a bit more.
For sure. Like I think my introduction to really understanding samurai is probably the same as yours and the same as like everybody in America that really were introduced to samurai, and that was manga and anime.
Yeah. For our generation, I think for sure.
Yeah. Like Ronin Kenshin is one. There was, I mean, God, there's been like a ton of different like samurai stories, but it's like one of the things that, I mean, we've talked about it on our channel multiple times. Probably people are sick of me talking about it. Is cowboy films.
Cowboy films, yeah.
Right?
Magnificent Seven.
Magnificent Seven, I think, is like the most famous one, right? But it's like cowboy films and samurai films have kind of like bounced back and forth.
Hey guys, if you've watched this far, you're going to love our Austin and Arthur friends.
In the Austin and Arthur friends, you're going to really improve your English listening. And I mean a lot.
Yeah. So for each episode, you'll get English and Japanese subtitles, so you can check your listening and comprehension.
You'll also get access to a members-only community where you can talk with us, the both of us. Mainly me, right?
No, definitely not. For more info, click on the link here, or in the description box of this video.
Thanks for being our friend.
Woo!
I have no friends.
With each other, is like where they kind of like steal each other's story.
Yeah, I feel like so like I said, the Magnificent Seven, because the Magnificent Seven is based off of the Seven Samurai, Shinshin Samurai, right?
Yeah.
But I think in America, more than what you get in jidaigeki in like period plays in Japan, I think the image of the Ronin is really big. Like Miyamoto Musashi is journeying through Japan by himself.
This like guy who just like has this super long hair, and he's got like this kind of like haggard kimono because he's been in like fights and stuff, and he doesn't have any money, so he has to roam from town to town to like kind of do like mercenary work in order to just kind of get by, right? That's the image that I think a lot of Americans have of samurai, which is like couldn't be further from the truth from like 99.99% of samurai, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, but
That idea of like a guy with like his hair shaved off and he's like wearing the uniform of his warlord. That's just not what Americans imagine samurai as.
yeah, I'm trying to find this video game character that really pictures that. I can't find him right now.
Yeah.
But I think, you were talking about how, cowboys and Japanese. Oh, yeah, you don't have to do this right now. I'm not yet.
I mean, you could just search up Kenshin, right?
Yeah. Oh,
That's who I remember.
Yeah.
Like,
but okay, I really want to try to get this, but yeah, so the idea, because the Ronin really ties in with the cowboy motif a lot better, because you have the Lone Ranger with the Ronin, But yeah, so keep on talking about that a little bit. I want to just try to bring this up.
yeah, so like, okay, what do Americans like in fantasy or just in storytelling in general? You like a person, like typically a male character, but it doesn't necessarily need to be a male character, but it's like this idea of a person who's kind of like in charge of their own destiny. They're off the grid. They're not like tied up and held down in this place. They don't have any real loyalties to anything. And they're like literally the definition of a free person.
Yeah,
right?
Very much like a cowboy.
Yeah. And so like Ronin fit that to a bill, right? So much that they're kind of viewed as outcasts here in Japan, right? And so it's like Americans just see that and instantly just like feel a connection.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not doing well. I can't bring this guy up.
Fair enough.
I give up. But
yeah.
So that's kind of the image there. Whereas, one thing though that you see a lot in nowadays, though, I feel like samurai are kind of making a comeback, where on YouTube and in like the manosphere a little bit, people are talking about like the code of Bushido and being the honorable samurai ethic man.
Really crazy, because it's really weird how things have kind of flipped, because traditionally speaking, Americans have always been about like, no, screw loyalty. We're all about freedom and personal expression and identity. And, I don't bow to anybody. I am in charge of myself.
And the samurai are the opposite of that.
The samurai are literally the opposite, as far away from that like mentality as you could go, right?
Yeah.
So much so that it's like, when like a daimyo or like a shogun would be killed, they're like his bodyguard would commit suicide. They failed their job. It's like, no, we don't deserve to live if our lord's dead.
Yeah.
Right? And so you have that much diehard commitment, yet you have like gym bros being like, I really dig the samurai like way.
Well, I really feel like so in a sense, like the samurai in American culture has turned into a symbol of discipline and honor, of self-control. And it's almost like it's taken on a noble savage like motif. Like they're kind of like, it's like, well, they're really refined, but then again, it's like the noble savage. Like, you know how in America we were like, oh yeah, the Native Americans are so honorable.
You know,
There were no child sacrifice.
You raise a really good point.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. Oh yeah?
Oh, well, I was just going to go because like, you're probably going to talk about the same thing.
Yeah.
But, like, Apache Indian or Native Americans, but whatever.
Indians, Native Americans.
They're referred to as Indians throughout history, even if it's not politically correct.
Mm-hmm.
But they're referred to as like really noble people.
Okay.
They've done some really messed up stuff though. If you look at like the settlers like moving in, like, you know, like children would be scalped, like that kind of stuff. They really messed up stuff. But a lot of their discussion around them, especially in like a military sense, is like American military generals had a lot of high respect for them. Like, because
they were scary warriors.
Yeah, they're not dumb. They're very skilled warriors, and you need to take them seriously.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, so that's that's an interesting analogy.
So like, you know, where I'm from is the state that I'm from, Massachusetts, is named after the Massasoit Indian tribe that was there, right?
Yeah.
And they're extinct now. But back when you started having conflict there and people had to build forts to protect themselves from the natives, they would refer to the natives as these devils, these servants of Satan, these devil worshippers. They like eat babies and kill them or something like that. And now that like the threat is gone, it's like, oh, yeah, you know, it's they were very noble people. It was great. It's kind of like now that they can't hurt us, we can talk about how nice they were, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's kind of like that in Japan too, because, you know, actually, so I went up to Nikko last year with my sister and my family.
Yeah.
And near Toshogu up in Nikko, there's a hall for the martial arts, Japanese martial arts. And I looked at it, and the hall is only about, well, at this stage, it's like 50 years old. It's built in like the 70s or the 80s or something like that. And I was like, that's interesting because it's been around for a long time.
Okay.
And I actually read the plaque that talked about it and said, oh yeah, you know, during the 50s and the 40s, it was dismantled and martial arts were illegal in Japan because people were very scared of the Japanese threat. And then after they move into the bubble economy and things start to go well between America and Japan, they said, okay, now we can let's make
Sorry, you're saying Americans?
Yeah, during the American occupation, practicing martial arts was illegal in Japan because they wanted to stamp out the martial spirit in Japan, because that's what...
Interesting. I didn't know that.
At that time, you know, like the samurai spirit was seen as something that was very dangerous.
Oh.
And now... it's not.
So it's not a threat because everyone's a salaryman now.
Basically, and then they're like, and then in the 80s, they're like, oh yeah, these salarymen are really like samurai, just with money and not swords. Let's learn from them. Let's be a businessman like a samurai. And all that stuff came out. And Eye of the Tiger karate stuff came out. And that's probably where ninjas came from too. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really like a complicated history, I think. But so what do you think is like the average impression of a samurai to the average American? Like if you go to Oklahoma and you say samurai, what do they think?
It's hard to say.
Yeah.
There's kind of like two images.
Mhm.
I would say the first one is I think people often equate them to knights.
Yeah.
So they look at a samurai, they see like, you know, he's wearing like usually like samurai would wear armor, like especially when they're going to battle. They're not going to battle wearing kimono.
Yeah, right.
That's something that's more casual.
Yeah.
When they're going to war, they still wear body armor.
Yeah.
Like, it's like obvious.
Yeah.
But you know, there's a huge emphasis on swordsman mastership.
Yeah.
Which knights also did.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the easiest thing to just like, oh, okay, you're just Japanese knights.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. You know what's actually funny though? So the English word for knight, the original Old English word, also means to serve. or servant. They were
really?
servants to the king.
I didn't
So just like samurai originally means servant, so that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
But one thing though that's kind of interesting, seeing like Japanese portrayals of samurai, especially when you get later on into like before the Meiji period or something.
Yeah.
You see a lot. I mean, of course you have the sword fights and stuff, but you also see a decent amount of archery, and even in some cases you see them using guns.
Dude, okay. So there was this show, I think it was on the History Channel, that was like, I think it started off, it would take like warriors from history
Yeah.
and have them fight each other, like simulated.
Yeah.
And I think like the first episode was like a pirate versus a ninja.
Okay.
And
That's a great combination right there.
the pirate won because it turns out guns are pretty good.
Yeah, right.
But you have the samurai got paired up against a Viking berserker,
Okay.
right? And
Wait, just a Viking berserker. Okay.
Yeah.
I got to pull this up because
this has nothing to do with samurai, but a Viking berserker is basically these Viking warriors would go to battle wearing nothing. They would literally go to battle naked.
yeah.
And
Okay, you can do this one.
it was terrifying because you have a giant Swedish, like 7 foot tall, muscular, naked man running at you with a weapon.
Yeah.
That was horrifying to like a 5'10" British guy.
Yeah, right.
It's like, that's the whole reason the English invented longbows, because they were like, fighting Nordic people in melee is terrifying.
Yeah.
So we're going to invent longbows and shoot them because they're idiots and they don't wear armor. But yeah, so they have the samurai fighting this, and to simulate these battles, they bring in weapons experts who are people who are like experts in whatever style of fighting. And they bring in this this guy from like some university here in Japan. I don't remember where, but he's an expert in samurai.
Yeah.
He's mastered everything that samurai were expected to master. He knows everything about them. And like one of the claims on the show was, oh yeah, I would never have to fight this guy in melee because I would just shoot him in the head with an arrow.
Yeah.
And there was like, well, the Viking can wear a helmet, and a lot of people claim that you can shoot somebody through the eye slit in a helmet.
Yeah.
But actually, it's a lot harder to do. And he's like, no, I can do it.
Yeah.
And there was like, okay, prove it. So they put this guy on a horseback, and he's like riding horseback, and he like draws and shoots the bow, goes right through the slit and hit the guy. And he's like, yeah, samurai are expected to do this. This is like a normal thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn.
Yeah. Well, because like one thing that I learned kind of recently, because a lot of people get interested in the samurai code, Bushido, whatever.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I learned later on was that samurai were mainly archers.
Yeah.
And they used bows and arrows, and like the sword was almost like a last resort.
I mean, it makes sense though, right? Because it's a lot safer.
Yeah.
And, if you think like from a military standpoint, not that either of us are generals, but like it's a pretty easy concept to understand. What has been the most successful like military units in human history? Mounted horseback units, like usually archers.
Yeah.
Like that's how Genghis Khan conquered Asia and Europe. He was famous for having the horse archers.
Or you know what's funny about that though? So sorry, this is not related to Japan at all.
Oh, not a tangent.
But the Huns during the Roman Empire, the Huns would like massacre the Romans.
Yeah.
And the Romans had horseback archers as well.
Yeah.
But the reason why the Huns were so good is because they had stirrups. Because at that time, stirrups were only amongst the steppe civilization in Eurasia. Like the Romans did not have stirrups. Like
such an obvious thing.
I know, but like because that you can't guide your horse, and they were able to like really turn sharp corners, like go in and go out really quickly, and that was one of the reasons why they were so successful.
That's crazy.
So both of those things.
Yeah. But yeah, it makes sense, right? And like if you look at like the identity of samurai, one of the things I want to go back to this discussion on knights, because it's I think in American culture they're really it's so common to see them compared.
Yeah.
One of the things though I think there's a big difference is how they conduct themselves.
Okay.
So I think. Okay, I want you to think like what is one word you would use to describe a samurai?
Honorable.
Okay.
Honor. Yeah.
Sure. I would look at a knight and say piety.
It's funny that you say it because I would look at a knight and say romance, not in the modern definition of romance, but in kind of like the old-fashioned version where it's kind of like, anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
So you say piety.
So like, I think you could look at like piety and honor
Mhm.
as two sides of a similar coin, but not the same coin.
Yeah, I mean, those. First of all, piety is a word you don't hear every day. So,
Yeah.
like, what's the difference between honor and piety?
Well, it kind of depends like on like, okay, so you look at knights
Mhm.
and the whole thing about knights is doing service to God,
Okay.
right? And serving God,
Mhm.
right? They're Christian knights,
Mhm.
right? That's where knights come from. And the idea of that is there's an idea of humility.
Mhm.
Going back to what you were saying, there's romance, not in the like lovey-dovey romance, but in like the old style romance of like being chivalrous.
Yeah.
So doing what's perceived as the right thing to God.
By the way, chivalry, the original word of chivalry is just means be like someone who rides a horse, which was a knight. That's what it means.
Yeah. So it's like you have this image of a knight, and like the stereotype trope of knight is this kind of like hero who doesn't take any credit for anything, and he's always doing what he perceives God is willing him to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
And that's how you had the whole Crusades, right? Because they thought that God was like, you need to take Jerusalem and all that crap. But
Yeah.
when I think of a samurai, I agree with you. I think of honor.
Mhm.
Honor, and I would actually say loyalty.
Loyalty, yeah.
That's kind of like what I think
That's a
of
big thing
samurai.
too.
But I think honor is kind of like tied in with that, right? Where it's like you have someone who's serving like a higher purpose above themselves and committing to that 100%.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I imagine a samurai to be.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because in the end, both like a samurai and a knight live the image, the romantic image of them is that they devote their lives in service to someone or something. But like you said, for the samurai, it's the daimyo, it's their lord. But for knights, it's to God. I want to live a life of virtue for God, not necessarily because I want to be a good person, but it's that very religious thing. But on the other hand, you have so many stories of knights finding like a pure maiden that they fall in love with, and you don't have sex with them, you got to stay away from them, but you kind of like worship the lady and you do all these nice things for the lady, like was it Sir Gawain in the Green Knight, Sir Gawain in the Green Knight? It's all about this woman tempts him. He's like, no, I'm going to keep myself pure. I'm going to be the honorable man. And that was kind of like the big test, But it's funny because you have, it's just popped into my mind. You have this kind of like worship of God, but also this worship of these like pure women of honor or something. And you find the woman, you find the lady that you love, and you will profess your love to her. But most of the time she's married, so you can't do anything.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Yeah. It's crazy. I think we're kind of drawing to a close, but like one last thing I really want to touch upon is how they're kind of perceived nowadays.
Yeah.
Because something that I find really interesting is I don't think there's ever been a period in history where knights have been negatively looked upon.
I would say nowadays they're kind of seen as old-fashioned and like of a bygone era, but it's not like, oh, knights, those are so stupid.
Yeah.
Not like that.
Because like you definitely have that here in Japan where, you go back like 100 years.
Yeah.
And I think if you talk to people, they would have like probably a very negative opinion on samurai.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Well, it kind of makes sense. You know, like the whole institution of knighthood kind of died out in the 1500s. That's a long time ago.
Yeah. You still have knights that exist today.
Really?
Like, a perfect example is England. England still knights people.
Oh, yeah. But they don't wear like the armor and stuff like that. It's like,
well, sure.
You are Sir so-and-so. You are a knight. Even though...
but I think like a lot of the traditions still carry on, right? Where it's like you're expected, if you are knighted, you are expected to hold yourself in higher standards than
Okay.
the rest of society, and it's like that.
Yeah.
That idea is still
Yeah,
very
but
important.
you don't really see them as like a knight though.
You're not riding
Yeah.
the battle on a steed.
No, but like the whole thing about, it's also like, I think the movie The Last Samurai is a great example of this, where, in the West, when we see samurai, we think of like a lost era that is inherently more virtuous and is better.
Yeah.
But like for Japanese people, when they see that, it's like, no, there were no human rights. The samurai could like kind of do whatever they wanted.
Yeah.
They were like the police force. And a lot of the samurai wanted to go back to the old way, not because it was the right thing, but because that's where they had their money. That's how they had their lifestyle.
Yeah.
And so a lot of Japanese people at that time saw them as like regressive people trying to hold society back. Kind of like probably how progressives see conservatives now. It's like, oh, you're holding us back,
Yeah.
So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Although I do think that, I don't know, it's funny how like I said before, on YouTube, you can actually find a lot of people talking about the samurai ethic of like, hey guys, I go to the gym and let's do.
You know what? If you took those people and you took the people who like listen to Marcus Aurelius every single day, you'll probably find a perfect circle.
I don't know, man.
I just love listening to Marcus Aurelius quotes all day.
It's so we could talk about that later, but like Stoicism, the philosophy of Stoicism has been really big in America, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, so this is good. What's something you want to talk about next time?
Mental health.
Mental health?
Because I think we're gonna have a mental health break after having to talk about mental health in the U.S. and Japan.
Dude, I'm just it's not gonna be a fun talk, but at least we have a silver lining. I got you. Okay, I'll see you next time.
Archer.
Nice dad joke. I'll see you next time.